Okay, so we are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 11, and we're going to start with text 21.
21 or 22?
22, Prabhuji.
21 to my understanding.
No,
Last
22.
we did 22 will start. Okay, Prabhuji, go ahead. Continue.
Okay. Nityanandir Ganajat Sababij Sakha Shrangavetra Gopavesh Shiresh Shikhi Pakha. All the associates of Lord Nityanand were formerly cowherd boys in Brajbhumi. Their symbolic representations were the horns and sticks they carried, their cowherd dress, and the peacock plumes on their heads. So, one of the main points here is that there are many devotees in Jagannath Puri and Navadvip Dham. They are all devotees of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna. But some spent more time with Lord Nityanand, or there's a special pastimes with Nityanand. So they're known as the associates of Lord Nityanand. But associates with Nityanand does not mean they're not associates of Lord Chaitanya. So I want to make sure that that point is clear. Ultimately, everybody's serving Lord Chaitanya in the whole pastime. So that's one point. Second point is that we'll see the names, but the 12 of these associates are known as Dwadash Gopal. Dwadash means 12, Gopal means cowherd boys. So they're known as Dwadash Gopal, and so we'll point it out, which was as we go through these verses. But clearly they were they were more intimate to Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityanand. In Krishna Lila, they were very intimate to Lord Krishna as well. Okay, so the other point is being made in the purport is that Janva Mata, who was the wife of Lord Nityanand, is also within the list of Lord Nityanand's followers. And as we know, Janva Mataji is Ananga Manjari. Who was Ananga Manjari? Mata, you're on mute.
Rupa Goswami?
No. Anang Manjari in Krishna Lila.
Oh, in Krishna Lila. Vishakha? Mata?
No. Anang Manjari was her name. But who?
Oh, name.
Okay, so she was the younger sister of Radharani,
Oh.
and she was an expansion of Lord Balaram. So Lord
Oh.
Balaram serves Krishna in 5 mellows.
Hmm.
And Shantaras is serving as his bed, as his abode, as his sacred thread, as his shoes, umbrella, etc., etc. In Dasyaras, he's serving Krishna as a servant, massaging his feet and all that. In Vatsalyaras, he is being the older brother, protecting Krishna. And in Madhuriras, he expands as Anang Manjari, the Radharani, Radharani's younger sister. And as Manjari, she serves them in their various pastimes. So that Anang Manjari appeared as Janava Mata, who was the wife of Nityanand, who's none other than Lord Balaram. Okay. So, and it says that all the devotees who are followers of Janava Mata are also counted within the list of Lord Nityanand's devotees. Okay. Text 22. Raghunath Vaidya Upadhyay Mahashaya Jahar Darshane Krishna Prema Bhakti Hoye. The physician Raghunath, also known as Upadhyay, was so great a devotee, simply by seeing him, one would awaken his dormant love of God. So Lord Chaitanya described 3 types of devotees. All right. He said, what's a devotee or a Vaishnava? Who chants Krishna's name at least once. The superior to that Vaishnava is one who's constantly chanting Krishna's name. But superior even to that, the supreme Vaishnava is the one you look at him and you want to chant Hare Krishna. So So this is the supreme Vaishnav that Raghunath Upadhyay was. He would awaken dormant love of Godhead in people's heart.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhuji, can you please repeat one more time?
Yes. The definition, you mean, the of Vaishnavas?
No, Vaishnavas, Prabhuji.
Yes. So, an ordinary Vaishnava is one who chants Krishna's name at least once. So, anybody who's chanted Krishna's name even once is a Vaishnava by definition of Lord Chaitanya. Then, superior to that is the one who's constantly chanting the name of Krishna. But superior even to that, the supreme Vaishnava is the one that you look at and you want to chant Hare Krishna. So he is reviving or invoking the love of Krishna in your heart just by looking at him.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay, so is that clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Usha.
So all the Paramhamsas, all the Maharaj and Prabhupada, they are the supreme Vaishnavas, right?
Well, so does every Maharaj make you say Hare Krishna? You feel like saying Hare Krishna? I'm not talking about the greeting. Yes, you feel like saying Hare Krishna when you see a pure devotee. So if all Maharajas do that to you, then that's great. Then they are pure devotees.
So make you do the chanting, you mean, or you
Not
make
make you do, not make you. You feel like doing it
Yeah.
yourself.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous, yes.
Mhm. I see. Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Sure. 23. Sundar Anand Nityanandir Shakha Bhritya Marma Jar Sange Nityanand Kare Braj Narm. Sundaranand, another branch of Sri Nityanand Prabhu, was Lord Nityanand's most intimate servant. Lord Nityanand Prabhu perceived the life of Braj Bhumi in his company. So this is such a wonderful devotee that when Lord Nityanand spent time with him, he felt he was in Braj Bhumi. So this is Sudama in Krishna Lila. Now, not Sudama who met Krishna in Dwarka, the poor boy. This is Sudama, a cowherd boyfriend in Vrindavan with Krishna. So don't confuse. Okay? Excuse me. This Sundarananda was a Nashik Brahmachari, that means he never married, and constantly stayed in the association of Lord Nityanand. And Lord Nityanand truly enjoyed his company. 34. Kamalakar Pipalai Alaukik Reet Alaukik Prematar Bhuvane Vidit. Kamalakar Pipalai is said to have been the third Gopal. So remember I was talking about the Dwadash Gopal, 12 Gopals? So he's in that list, third Gopal. His behavior and love of Godhead were uncommon, and thus is celebrated all over the world. So very special devotee, obviously. And in Krishna Lila, he was Mahabal. So some of these names you may not even have heard, but these are all very close friends to Lord Krishna. Okay. Okay. So there's some history of the Jagannath temple in the town that he lived in Mahesh, and we can read that in the second paragraph of the purport. So does anybody want to read the second paragraph?
Shall I go,
Go on,
Prabhu?
Mataji.
Second, yeah. The history of the Jagannath temple in Mahesha is as follows. One devotee of the name Dhruvananda went to see Lord Jagannath, Balram and Subhadra at Jagannath Puri, wanting to offer food to Jagannath ji that he had cooked with his own hands. This being his desire, one night Jagannath ji appeared to him in a dream and asked him to go to Mahesha on the bank of the Ganges and there start worship of him in a temple. Thus, Dhruvananda went to Mahesha, where he saw the three deities, Jagannath, Balaram, and Subhadra, floating in the Ganges. He picked up all those deities and installed them in a small cottage, and with great satisfaction, he executed the worship of Lord Jagannatha. When he became old, he was very anxious to hand over the worship to the charge of someone reliable. And in a dream, he got permission from Jagannath Prabhu to hand it over to a person whom he would meet the next morning. The next morning, he met Kamlakara, Piplai, who was formerly an inhabitant of the village Khalijuli in the Sundarvana forest area of Bengal and was a pure Vaishnava, a great devotee of Lord Jagannatha. Thus, he immediately gave him charge of the worship. In this way, Kamlakara Piplai became the worshipper of Lord Jagannatha, and since then, his family members have been designated as Adhikari, which means one who is empowered to worship the Lord. These Adhikaris belong to a respectable Brahman family. 5 types of upper class Brahmanas are recognized by the surname Piplai.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Okay, so it's self-explanatory, so I won't make any comments.
Yeah.
It's a nice story. Okay, text 25. सूर्यदास सरखेल तार भाई कृष्णदास नित्यानंद दृढ़ विश्वास प्रेमेर निवास. Suryadas Saralekha and his younger brother Krishnadas Sarkhela, both possessed firm faith in Nityanand Prabhu. They were reservoir of love of Godhead. So these are, and the next verse talks about other brothers also, but Suryadas was the father of Vasudha and Januva. Who were Vasudha and Januva?
Who is the wife of the Nityananda?
Wives of Nityananda, that's correct. Okay.
I don't know who is Surya.
Suryadas, yes. So text 26. Gauridas Pandit Jar Premodand Bhakti Krishna Prema Dityanite Dhare Mahashakti. Gauridas Pandit, the emblem of the most elevated devotional service in love of Godhead, had the greatest potential to receive and deliver such love. So Gauridas Pandit was another brother. So there are 4 brothers. So this is the 3rd brother, Gauridas Pandit. Now Gauridas Pandit was a very pure devotee of excuse me, of Lord Chaitanya, and in Krishna Lila he was Subal. So who was Subal in Krishna Lila? Anybody knows?
He was a friend of Krishna.
Yeah, but more than that, he was related to somebody.
Chandravali's brother.
Yes, that's correct. He was the brother of Chandravali, but he looked like Radharani, and he was favoring Radharani more than his own sister. So he was friend of Krishna, helping him meet Radharani. And there are many pastimes of him doing that. But anyway, so that Subal became Gauridas Pandit. So he decided to live in a place called Ambika Kalana. And there's a very famous story. Has anybody been to Ambika Kalana? This is near Mayapur. Okay, so next time you go to Mayapur, make sure you go to Ambika Kalana, because there you have the self-manifested deities of God Nitai, beautiful deities. And there you will also see a handwritten copy of Bhagavad Gita by Lord Chaitanya. So you see Gita in Lord Chaitanya's handwriting.
Prabhuji, can you tell the name of the place once again? What did you say?
Ambika Kalana. Ambika Kalana.
Okay.
And
Ambika Kalana.
It's written in the.
how far it is from Mayapur, Prabhu?
Well, when we went, they took us an hour and a half. It's only 45 kilometers, but it takes an hour and a half.
So it is still the same name there, Prabhu, Ambika Kalana?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So just take a taxi and or take a, for the tourists take a guide with you and go there. It's a beautiful place. And they also, so I'm going to tell the story. And the other thing that's there is the oar that Lord Chaitanya and Nityanand were using to row the boat, that they were using to come to the house of Gauridas Pandit. So that oar is still there also. You can see the self-manifested deities of God Nitai. You can see the handwritten manuscript of Bhagavad Gita by Lord Chaitanya and the oar that he used to row the boat to come and see Gauridas Pandit.
Is manifested for Gauridas Pandita?
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you the story. So one time, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda were wandering around, and they happened to be in a village across this river from where Gauridas Pandit lived in Ambika Kalna. So Lord Chaitanya said to Nityananda, let's go see Gauridas. So they said, okay. So they took a boat and started rowing towards the house of Gauridas. In the meantime, somebody came running to Gauridas Pandit and said, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are coming to visit you, and they are in the boat. When Gauridas Pandit heard that, he went crazy here, running to the Ganges and jumped in the river and started swimming towards the boat.
Oh my God.
And they were on. When Lord Chaitanya saw Gauridas Pandit jump in the river, he also jumped from the boat into the river, started swimming towards Gauridas Pandit. They're so keen to see each other. And they embraced right in the middle of the river. And then Gauridas Pandit brought them both to his house, and he served them very nicely for some time. After some time, Lord Chaitanya said, Gauridas, we have to go. We are sannyasis, we cannot stay in one place. But he insisted, no, few more days, Prabhu, few more days. So they said, okay. It went on many, many times. Finally, Lord Chaitanya said, enough, we're not staying anymore, we have to go. So then Gauridas said, okay, fine, but at least leave your deities here, so I can serve them thinking that's you. So they said, okay. So they self-manifested two deities, one Lord Chaitanya and one Lord Nityanand. And so they said, okay, here are the deities. They put them on the altar and they started walking out the door. Now, as they were walking out the door, Gauridas Pandit said, these two people, the personalities are very tricky. Maybe somehow they're fooling me. So maybe I should ask these who are walking to stay and let the deities go. So then I'll know I'm a real Lord Chaitanya, I'm a real Lord Nityananda. So he said, no, you stay, let the deities go. So they said, okay. So they stood where the deities were, and the deities started walking. When the deities got to the door, Gauridas Pandit said, wait a minute, maybe I got tricked again. Maybe the original one was real Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya. He said, no, you stay here, you two go. And this went back and forth many times. And every time Gauridas Pandit was so confused. So finally they said, okay, all four of us are here. You decide which two you want to stay. So then he said, okay, these two. So those two stayed. The other two left. And those two deities of Lord Chaitanya are still there in Ambika Kalna.
Great.
So make sure, this is a longer story, there's a whole bunch of other stories with that Gauridas Pandit, but anyway, actually maybe I'll tell you the other one. So after this, they were worshipping Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda very nicely, but Gauridas Pandit had to go someplace. So he called his disciple, whose name was Chaitanya Das. And she said to him, you take care of the deities until I come back. So he said, okay. That he was very nicely taking care of the deities. And Gauridas Pandit went. But then there was some function that, I forget the name of the function, that had to be celebrated as a tradition. So Chaitanya said, let's celebrate that function. And the deities spoke up, they said, we want to go too. So Chaitanya said, no, you can't go. You are deities, you stay here. And they said, no, we have to come. So they also came along. So thousands of people were there. Everybody was dancing, chanting was going on. And these three, Hridaya Chaitanya and whose name was Chaitanya Das at that time, and Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityanand, they were dancing in ecstasy. It just so happened Gauridas Pandit came back on that day. So he had been missing the deities so much, he went straight to his house, went to the altar, opened the door, no deities. I said, oh Krishna, what happened? Where are the deities? He came outside, and in a distance he saw Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityanand dancing with the crowd. And he got so angry that without his permission, they left the altar. He picked up a stick and just shouting that I'm going to beat you people up. How dare you come out of the altar, go like that. I got so worried, started running towards the Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityanand. So Lord Chaitanya said to Nityanand, oh, Gauri, that's very angry. He's going to hit us. So what do? Nityanand said, let's hide. But where? So they both entered the heart of Chaitanya Das, his disciple. Gauridas Pandit saw that. So he came running and he fell flat, offered obeisance to his own disciple. That you are so pure that their lordships entered your heart. So from now on, your name is going to be Hridaya Chaitanya, because that Lord Chaitanya entered your heart. And he said, no, you're my guru, please don't do that. And they said, okay, let's go back to the altar. They went to the altar, and Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityanand was standing there. So that's the other half of the pastime. So this Gauridas Pandit is very, very powerful, very pure devotee, very intimate devotee of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityanand. And then brother Suridas, whose two daughters got married to Lord Nityanand. Okay. Text 27. Nityanande Samarpil Jati Kulapati Shri Chaitanya Nityanande Kari Pranapati. Making Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityanand the lords of his life, Gauridas Pandit sacrificed everything for the service of Lord Nityanand, even the fellowship of his own family. So he left his family, started living in Ambika Kalna, and that's where his pastime happened. 28. Nityananda Prabhura Priya Pandita Purandar Premarnav Madhya Phire Jachan Mandar. The 13th important devotee of Sri Nityananda Prabhu was Pandit Purandar, who moved in the ocean of love of Godhead, just like Mandara Hill. So Mandara Hill is the one. What's the Mandara Hill famous for?
This is the Mandrachal Parvat.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Churning of ocean.
Of the
Yes,
ocean.
churning of the ocean. So basically they are comparing him because that hill churned the ocean, and this person, Pandit Purandar, is churning the love of Krishna, which is like an ocean. Okay, and there's another story that when Lord Nityanand visited Kharadaha, the village where he used to live in, he was dancing very uncommonly. Nityanand was dancing very, in a different way, but he was captivating the heart of Pandit Purandar. So he got on top of he was on the top of the tree. When he saw this dancing of Nityanand, he jumped down on the ground and he said, I'm Angada, one of the devotees of the monkey devotees of Lord Ram. So that's the pastime of Pandit Purandar. Text 29. Parameshwara Das Nityanandek Sharan Krishna Bhakti Payatare Je Kare Smaran. Parameshwara Das, said to be the fifth Gopal of Krishna Lila, completely surrendered to the lotus feet of Nityanand. Anyone who remembers his name, Parameshwara Das, you get love of Krishna very easily. So this is what we were talking about earlier, that all these names are very purifying, and just simply taking their name gives us the love of Krishna in our heart. So this Pandit Purandar was Arjun, not Arjun Pandava. Arjun, a cowherd boyfriend of Krishna in Vrindavan Lila. Okay. All right. Text 30. Jagadish Pandit hoy Jagat Pavan Krishna Prema Mrita Varshe Jain Varsha Ghan. Jagadish Pandit, the 15th branch of Lord Nityananda's followers, was the deliverer of entire world. Devotional love of Krishna showered from him like torrents of rain. So again, he can deliver the whole world. So why not, some neophyte devotees like us, just taking his name, will do that. Now, Jagdish Pandit had a wife named Dukhini and a brother Mahesh, and they were living in Mayapur, and they were friends of the father of Lord Chaitanya, Jagannath Mishra. So Lord Chaitanya asked Jagdish to go to Jagannath Puri to preach the Harinam Sankirtan. And we returned from Jagannath Puri because Lord Jagannath actually ordered him to return. He went to the village called Yashoda Gram, established the deity of Jagannath. That deity is still there. And the way he brought it was that he tied the deity to a stick. In India, they have the stick and something hanging from the other side of the stick.
Mm-hmm.
So like that. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how he brought Jagannath. So no formality there. Tie him with rope, hang him from the stick, and then bring him back. Okay, 31. Nityanand Priya Bhatta Pandit Dhananjay Atyant Virakta Sada Krishna Premamay. The 16th dear servant of Nityanand Prabhu was Dhananjay Pandit. He was very much renounced and always merged in love of Krishna. So he was Vasudama Sakha in Krishna Lila. Okay, and so he was in the Sankirtan party under the direction of Lord Chaitanya, and then he went to Vrindavan from Jagannath Puri. He lived there for a while and established a temple there, and that's about it. The deity of Gaurasundar. Text 32. Mahesh Pandit Bejer Udar Gopal Dhakka Vadya Nitya Kare Preme Matoyal. Mahesh Pandit, the 7th of the 12 Gopalas, was very liberal. In great love of Krishna, he danced to the beating of a kettle drum like a madman. So, very liberal means he'll give mercy to anybody. He didn't distinguish, who's Shudra, who's whatever, but he would just simply be happy to give. And he joined, Chula, what do you call Dahi Chula? Dahi Chula festival at Panihati. So he was there with Lord Nityanand. Okay. 33. Navadvipe Purushottam Pandit Mahashaya Nityananda Namejar Mohan Mad Hoye. Purushottam Pandit, a resident of Navadvip, was the 8th Gopal. He would become almost mad as soon as he heard the holy name of Nityanand Prabhu. So again, pure devotee. 34. Balaram Das Krishna Prema Rasa Swadi Nityananda Name Hoy Parama Unmadi. Unmadi means basically go mad, totally mad. So Balaram Das always fully tasted the nectar of love of Krishna. Upon hearing the name of Nityanand Prabhu, he would become greatly maddened, just go crazy, just by hearing the name. Text 35. Mahabhagvat Yadunath Kavichandra Jahar Hriday Nitya Kare Nityananda. Yadunath Kavichandra was a great devotee. Lord Nityanand Prabhu always danced in his heart. Okay. Text 36. Radhe jar Janma Krishna Das Dvij Var Shri Nityanand Derete Ho Param Kinkar. The 21st devotee of Shri Nityanand in Bengal was Krishna Das Brahman, who was a first-class servant of the Lord. And he was born in the same place, Radhadesh, as Lord Nityanand. Okay. Text 37. Kala Krishna Das Bada Vaishnava Pradhan Nityananda Chandra Binu Nahi Jane An. The 22nd devotee of Lord Nityanand was Kala Krishna Das, who was the 9th cowherd boy. He was a first-class Vaishnava and did not know anything beyond Nityanand Prabhu. So he was a Gopa called Lavanga, one of the Dwadas Gopals. Okay. Text 38. Shri Sadashiva Kaviraj Bada Mahashaya Shri Purushottam Das Tahar Tanay. The 23rd and 24th prominent devotees of Nityanand Prabhu were Sadashiv Kaviraj and his son Purushottam Das, who was the 10th Gopal. So from birth, Purushottam Das was merged in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Nityanand Prabhu, and he always engaged in childish play with Lord Krishna. So the two father and son team, Sadashiv Kaviraj and Purushottam, sometimes also known as Nagar Purushottam. Okay. All right. Text 40. Tarputra Mahashaya Shikant Thakur Jardeh Kare Krishna Premamrita Purso. Now the grandson, or son of Purushottam, Nagar Purushottam, the grandson of Sadashiv Kaviraj, is Kant Thakur. So Shikant Thakur, a very respectable gentleman, was a son of Purushottam Das Thakur. He was such a great devotee that Lord Krishna always lived in his body. So imagine, Lord Krishna lived in the body of Kanu Thakur. When he was 12 days old, Lord Nityanand took him to his home at Kalada. Okay, and there he gave him the name Shishu Krishnadas. When he was 5 years old, he went to Vrindavan with Janava Mataji and the Goswamis. And upon seeing the symptoms of Kanu Thakur, Janava Mata gave the name Kanai Thakur. Okay, so that's the history there. Text 41. Mahabhagat Shresth Datt Udharan Sarvabhave Seve Nityanandere Charan. Udharan Datta Thakur, rather, the 11th among the 12 cowherd boys, was an exalted devotee of Lord Nityanand Prabhu. He worshipped the lotus feet of Lord Nityanand in all aspects. So, he was a cowherd boy named Subahu in Krishna Lila. And he lived in Saptagram, which is where he was visited by Lord Nityanand a few times, and even Janava Mata visited. Now, it is said that he belonged to what's known as Suvarna Malik. Suvarna means gold, Vanik rather, and Vanik means businessman, a merchant. So people who dealt with gold, known as Suvarna Malik, or Vanik, sorry, and in Hindi it's called Sunar, or goldsmith in English. So that's the community they belong to. But somehow they were in a fight with some people and they were declared as worse than Shudras. But when Nityanand visited Udhandat Thakur, he purified the whole community and made them pure devotees of Krishna. Okay. Prabhupada talks about how he was invited in 1967 when he went back to India, invited by the management of the temple that Udhandat Thakur had established. And so Prabhupada was very happy that he got invited and he was able to worship the deities as well as a wooden murti of Udhandat Thakur. But that murti is now disappeared and they are painting instead. So again, a very, very important devotee in the line of Lord Nityanand. Text 42. Acharya Vaishnavananda Bhakti Adhikari Puve Naam Chilijar Raghunath Puri. The 27th prominent devotee of Nityanand Prabhu was Acharya Vaishnavananda, a great personality in devotional service, was formerly known as Raghunath Puri. And it says very interestingly that he had all the 8 mystic perfections, and he was incarnation of one of the perfections, which basically means perfection personified. Okay. 43. Vishnu Das Nandan Ganga Das Tin Bhai Purvajar Gharechila Thakur Nitai. Another important devotee of Lord Nityanand Prabhu was Vishnu Das, who had 2 brothers, Nandan and Ganga Das. Lord Nityanand Prabhu sometimes stayed at their home. 44. Nityananda Bhakt Paramananda Upadhyay Shri Jiva Pandit Nityananda Gunagaye. Paramananda Upadhyay was Nityananda Prabhu's great servitor. Shri Jiva Pandit glorified the qualities of Shri Nityananda Prabhu. So don't confuse Jiva Pandit with Jiva Goswami. Two very different. Okay. So in Krishna Lila, Jiva Pandit was Gopi named Indira.
Indira.
Yeah. Text 45. Paramananda Gupta Krishna Bhakta Mahamati Purvajare Ghare Nityanandere Basati. The 31st devotee of Lord Nityanand Prabhu was Paramananda Gupta, who was greatly devoted to Lord Krishna and highly advanced in his spiritual consciousness. Formerly, Nityanand Prabhu also resided at his house for some time. And in the Krishna Lila, he was known as Manjumedha. Text 46. Narayana Krishnadas R. Manohar Devananda Charibhai Nitai Kinkar. The 32nd, 33rd, 34th, 35th prominent devotees were Narayan, Krishnadas, Manohar, and Devanand, who always engaged in the service of Lord Nityanand. 47. Hor Krishnadas Nityananda Prabhu Pran Nityananda Padabinu Nahi Jane An. The 36th devotee of Lord Nityanand was Hola Krishnadas, whose life and soul was Nityanand Prabhu. He was always dedicated to the lotus feet of Nityanand, and he knew no one else but him. Text 48. Nakali Mukunda Surya Madhava Sridhar Ramananda Basu Jagannath Mahidhar. Among Lord Nityananda's devotees, Nakadi was 37th, Mukunda the 38th, Surya the 39th, Madhava the 40th, Sridhar the 41st, Ramanand the 42nd, Jagannath the 43rd, and Mahidhar the 44th. And Sridhar was the 12th and the final Gopa in Krishna Lila. Text 49. Shrimanta Gokuladas Hariharanand Shivai Nandai Avadhut Paramanand. Shrimant was the 45th, Gokildas 46th, Hariharanand 47th, Shivai the 48th, Nandai the 49th, and Paramananda 50th. Text 50. Vasant Navanich Hol Gopal Sanatan Vishnai Hajira Krishnananda Sulochan. Vasant was the 51st, Navani Hola the 52nd, Gopal the 53rd, Sanatan the 54th, Vishnai the 55th, Krishnanand the 56th, and Sulochan
57.
the 57th. 51. Kansari Sen, Ram Sen, Ramchandra Kaviraj, Govinda Shirang, Mukunda Tina Kaviraj. The 58th great devotee of Lord Nityanand Prabhu was Kansari Sena. The 59th was Ram Sena. 60th was Ramchandra Kaviraj. And the 61st, 62nd, 63rd were Govinda, Shiranga, and Mukunda, who were all physicians. So who has heard the bhajan by Narottam Das Thakur, which says, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More, Tuma Bina Ke Dayalu? How does it go? Chaitanya Prabhu. Tuma Bina Ke Dayalu? No.
Jagat Sansare.
Jagat Sansare, thank you. Who's heard that one?
Narottam Das Thakur.
Yes. So the last line in that bhajan, it says, Ramchandra Sangamage, Narottam Das.
Narottam Das.
So this is Ramchandra Kaviraj that we're talking about. So why is Narottam Das Thakur asking for the association of Ramchandra Kaviraj? So let's talk about Ramchandra Kaviraj for a minute. So Ramchandra Kaviraj was the son of a very famous doctor, a Vaidya, as they say. And but this father, and especially the grandfather, the maternal grandfather, was Shiva Bhakta. But the father of Ramchandra Kaviraj was Krishna Bhakta. So he made sure that Ramchandra Kaviraj was a Krishna Bhakta, but his brother, Govinda Kaviraj, became influenced by his grandfather and became a Shiva Bhakta. So anyway, this is going on. And Ramchandra Kaviraj got married. And as he was going with the wedding party, he passed by a village where Srinivas Acharya was giving a class. So they saw each other as Srinivas Acharya was giving a class and Ramchandra Kaviraj was going with his wedding party with his bride. They saw each other and they offered obeisances to each other. They met and they said, we'll meet again. And then they left. And then soon, Ramchandra Kaviraj came back and got the association of Srinivas Acharya and started practicing Krishna Bhakti. Then Narottam Das Thakur joined Srinivas Acharya. They all became the Shiksha disciple of Jiva Goswami. And it was Jiva Goswami who ordered them to take the books from Vrindavan to Bengal to preach. And then the whole story about how Veer Hambir, the king, had the books robbed, and then Srinivas Acharya stayed and he preached, and finally he got the books back. So anyway, so it's that Ramchandra Kaviraj that we are talking about. Very, very close friends of Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivas Acharya. Anyway, so that's Ramchandra Kaviraj. Then Govinda Kaviraj, of course, he became a Shiva devotee, but later on he was initiated by Srinivas Acharya and he became a Krishna devotee as well. Okay, 52. Pitambar Madhvacharya Das Damodar Shankar Mukund Jnana Das Manohar. Among the devotees of Lord Nityanand Prabhu, Pitambar was the 64th, Madhvacharya the 65th, Damodar Das 66th, Shankara the 67th, Mukunda the 68th, Jan Das the 69th, and Manohar the 70th. Text 53. Nartak Gopal Ram Bhadra Gaurang Das, Nisingha Chaitanya Meen Ketan Ram Das. The dancer Gopal was the 71st, Ram Bhadra the 72nd, Gaurang Das the 73rd, Nisingha Chaitanya the 74th, and Meer Ketan Ram Das the 75th. So, Meer Ketan Ram Das is an incarnation of Sankarshan. And you all know the story that we read in the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, how he was visiting this place where Krishnadas Kaviraj was there also. And Meer Ketan Ram Das was insulted by the brother of Krishnadas Kaviraj because the brother was a devotee of Lord Nityanand. Lord Chaitanya, but did not give any importance to Lord Nityanand. Meer Ketan Ram Das was in the mood of Lord Balaram, being an incarnation of Sankarshan, and therefore a very close devotee of Lord Nityanand. When he noticed that Lord Nityanand was being ignored, he was very angry. He broke the flute he used to carry and left, and after having some argument with the brother of Krishnadas Kaviraj, so Krishnadas Kaviraj chastised his brother. He was very upset. But that night the Lord Nityanand appeared in his dream and said, don't worry, you just go to Vrindavan. All the things will get taken care of. So that's when Krishnadas Kaviraj went to Vrindavan, and the whole story goes about how he ended up writing Chaitanya Charitamrita that we are reading now. Okay, so that's your Meer Ketan Ram Das. Vrindavan Das Thakur, the son of, Vrindavan Das Narayan, text 54. Vrindavan Das Narayan Neer Nandan Chaitanya Mangala Jeho Karil Vachan. Vrindavan Das Thakur, the son of Srimati Narayani, composed Chaitanya Mangal, later known as Chaitanya Bhagavad. So you all know about that. Text 55. Bhagavate Krishna Lila Varnila Ved Vyas Chaitanya Lila Te Vyas Vrindavan. So very important verse. Bhagavate Krishna Lila Varnila Ved Vyas Chaitanya Lila Te Vyas Vrindavan Das. Srila Vyasadeva described the pastimes of Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Vyasa of pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Vrindavan Das Thakur. So Vrindavan Das Thakur is an incarnation of Ved Vyas, and also a cowherd boy named Kusuma Pida in Krishna Lila. Okay? And he was the combined incarnation, like you can say, Ved Vyas and Kusuma Pida. Okay. 56. Sarva Shakha Shresht Veer Bhadra Gosai Tar Upashakha Tar Antanai. Among all the branches of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Veerbhadra Gosai was topmost. His sub-branches are unlimited. Text 57. Ananta Nityananda Gan Kekaru Ganan Atma Paritrata, sorry, Atma Pavitrata Hetu Likhilao Katjan. Very important verse. Pay attention here. No one can count the unlimited followers of Nityananda Prabhu. I mentioned some of them just for my self-purification. So sometimes people say, what's the use of reading all these names? We won't remember any. That's true. But just by reading these names, we become purified.
My God, I got my answer.
Okay. Yeah. And Krishna was saying, I'm just mentioning all these names for my purification. So he can do it for his purification. What will happen to us? We need a lot more purification. So just reading these names is purifying us. Text 58. Ei sarva shakha purna pakpa prem phale jare dekhe tare diya bhasaile sakale. All these branches, the devotees of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, being full of ripened fruits of love of Krishna, distributed these fruits to all they met, flooding them with love of Krishna. That's the whole point. All these branches we're talking about is because they at the end of the branch is the fruit. That fruit is the love of Krishna. And these branches are distributing that love of Krishna fruit to anybody and everybody. All you have to do is get under the tree. And you get that fruit. Text 59. Anargal prem sabar cheshta anargal prem dite Krishna dite dhare mahabal. Another very wonderful verse. Anargal means unchecked, no boundaries, no limitation. So all these devotees had unlimited strength to deliver unobstructed, unceasing love of Krishna. By their own strength, they could offer anyone Krishna and love of Krishna. So in the purport was saying, reminding us about a very wonderful bhajan by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, glorifying the Vaishnavas. And
Jasa prasadate bhagavad prasado.
Sorry, what?
Jasa prasadate bhagavad prasado.
No, not yet.
No.
So Bhaktivinoda Thakur sang this glorifying the Vaishnavas. Says, Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite paro, tomar shakati ache. He says that Krishna is the property of a Vaishnava or a devotee. And the devotee can give Krishna and Krishna's love. He has the potency to do that. So Krishna is the property of devotee, and the devotee has the power or potency to give Krishna and love of Krishna. Tomar shakati ache. You have that potency. That's the glorification of Vaishnavas. So says that Vaishnava can deliver anyone and everyone that he wants to deliver. Therefore, to get Krishna and love of Krishna, one must seek the mercy of pure devotees. So they say you cannot get bhakti without the mercy of the devotee of Krishna. Similarly, you cannot get love of Krishna without the mercy of devotee. Similarly, you cannot get Krishna without the mercy of the devotee.
Guru.
devotee. So devotee, Guru is a devotee. Then Prabhupada goes on to say that Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Yasya aprasadat nagati kutur. If you please the Guru, Krishna will be pleased. If you displease the Guru, you have no hope. You're not going anywhere. You will stay where you are, which is the material world. You cannot make any advancement without the mercy of the Guru. So by the grace of a Vaishnava or a bona fide spiritual master, one can get both love of Godhead, Krishna, and Krishna himself. You get love of Krishna and love of Krishna himself. Text 60. संक्षेपे कहिलाओ ए नित्यानंद गण जहार अवधि न पाए सहस्त्र वदन. I briefly described only some of the followers and devotees of Lord Nityanand Prabhu. Even the 1,000-mouthed Sheshnag cannot describe all of these unlimited devotees. So there's so many of them. Text 61. So this I note, every chapter ends with something like this.
Yep.
Shilupa Raghunath Pade Jar Ash Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe.
Krishna Das.
So with an ardent desire to serve the purpose of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, I, Krishna Das, narrate Chaitanya Charitamrita following in the footsteps. So what's the Pranami mantra for Rupa Goswami?
Jai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Jai
No.
Nityanand.
Pranami mantra of Rupa Goswami.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri
Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam.
Sthapitam yena
Bhutale.
bhutale.
Swayam
So,
Padatikam Padatikam.
right. So Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, what does that mean?
To spread the Krishna's name,
No,
Krishna
so
prema.
literal meaning. Chaitanya Manobhishtam. What is the meaning of that?
The one who knows the internal desire of the heart
Right,
of Lord.
exactly. The one who knows the internal desire of Lord Chaitanya, which was what? To spread the holy name. Jaake dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. Right? Prithvi te ache jat nagar adi gram sarvatra hoive prachar more naam. That's the manobhisht. Abhisht means ichha or intention or destination. Ultimate desire of Chaitanya was that. So what is Rupa Goswami's purpose? I'm sorry. So we just talked about that. So Dr. Krishnadas Kaviraj is saying, with the ardent desire to serve the purpose of Sri Rupa. So Rupa Goswami's desire is to perform what's in the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami's desire is to perform what's in the heart of Rupa Goswami. The concept of servant of the servant. It's ultimately the same thing, right? Because he's doing what Rupa Prabhu wants what to do. Rupa Goswami is doing what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to do. So A equals B, B equals C, therefore A equals C. Everybody knows math? Yes, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So same thing. So the important part here is Krishnadas Kaviraj saying, I also simply want to serve my spiritual master Rupa Goswami, the Shiksha Guru, by satisfying his desire. Who's trying to satisfy the desire of his Guru, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is to spread the holy name of Krishna and give love of Krishna to everyone. So Rupa Raghunath Pade Jar Ash. That's my desire. And by that desire, what am I doing? Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I'm writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. With that desire to satisfy the desire of Rupa Goswami, satisfy the desire of Lord Chaitanya, servant of the servant. Right? Rupa Goswami ki jai, Raghunath Das Goswami ki jai, Chai Goswami ki jai, Krishna Maharaj ki jai, aap sab ki jai, Hari Bol.
So this is the Rupa Goswami's Prabhu, Rupa Goswami's Pranami mantra?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm going to stop here because my mouth is just tired. One hour.
Because you did not let anybody read
Definitely,
today.
Prabhuji, because you were speaking right since 1 hour.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Continue.
So the reason I did not read the purpose is that there's given details like railway station here,
Yeah,
some there. You can read it yourself. It doesn't serve a lot of purpose to know the details that you will never remember. But I'll ask you to please read it. It's interesting information. But I felt that the benefit of reading those purpose will be minimal because they're not discussing philosophy. They're just giving some details that you can read later on. So anyway, any questions or comments?
Prabhuji, one curiosity in my mind. All these names we heard, and Krishnadas Kaviraj is telling us who were they in Krishna Lila.
No,
Right?
no.
No, they?
Prabhupada is quoting from Garudesh Deepika, which is written by Kavi Kanpur.
Okay.
So Krishna Kaviraj is not telling that.
Oh, Prabhupada is
quoting that.
Yeah.
And all these then it is there in
Gano
Garudesh Deepika. So all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya were there in Krishna Lila. They are mentioned in that book.
Okay. Yes. We have to read that also then.
Yeah, you should. It's just that I'm not very good with names, so I will not remember anything. I can't even remember the Manjaris that came as 6 Goswamis. I remember Rupa Manjari and Sanatana Goswami. After that, I get mixed up. So yeah, read it. If you can remember the names, that's great. But just for curiosity, you can read it. It's a great book.
Prabhuji, if you can't remember, how can we remember it?
I don't know.
Your memory is so good and you can't remember. How could we remember it? Very difficult.
Yeah, it is very difficult to know these names. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording.